Why do so many student pilots struggle with landings and freeze during check rides and keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again? If you're the same, then don't worry, you're not alone. If you're currently in flight training, this video could save you hours and hours of frustration and maybe even a failed check ride. This video will be breaking down landing techniques student pilots struggle with, how to properly prepare for your check ride, and common mistakes that hold students back and how to fix them. Part 1 is landing. Fly with pressure, not movement. One of the biggest landing mistakes students make is moving the controls too aggressively. Remember this, the yoke is a pitch and roll rate control, not a pitch and roll amount control. A tiny continuous input can still get you to 45 degrees of bank. Good pilots fly with smooth control pressure and not large control movements. Number 2 is understanding the 3 phases of landing. A proper landing has 3 phases. Number 1 is the approach. A stable approach makes a good landing. Number 2 is the roundabout where you level off, and number 3 is the flare, which is transitioning into landing attitude. Next is the flare happens naturally. Most students struggle to do a flare, but in reality, if you are on speed and smoothly increasing back pressure while holding the airplane off the runway, the airplane naturally transitions into the flare by itself. It has to raise the nose slightly to continue flying at that slower speed. As I said before, stable approaches create stable landings. By short final, you should already be stabilized with correct approach speed, correct landing configuration, small corrections only like heading and pitch, and center line should be maintained. Trying to save a bad approach in the last few seconds usually leads to bad landings. Initiate a go around instead. Part 2 is Checkride prep. Firstly, the ACS is your blueprint. Passing your check ride comes down to mastering the DGCA standards. That's literally what the examiner grades you on. Go through it line by line with your instructor. Understand the why. Don't memorize. Don't just memorize weather charts, regulations, or airspace numbers. Understand why things work. Why adverse yaw happens, why stalls occur, why density, altitude matters. When you truly understand concepts, the oral becomes a conversation instead of an interrogation. Next is tab your AOM and VOH. You are allowed to use references during the oral exams. Don't waste energy trying to memorize every regulation. Tab your pilot operating handbook, aircraft limitations, emergency procedures, maneuvers. Then we have practice active recall. Reading notes repeatedly isn't enough. Quiz yourself constantly. V speeds, airspace requirements, lost comms, emergency procedures or systems. Use flashcards or aviation study apps to help better recall. Next is think out loud. One of the best check ride skills, learn to verbalize your thought processes. If the examiner gives you a scenario, then explain what you see, what concerns you, your decision-making process. Show them how you think like a pilot. Chair flying is honestly one of the most underrated training tools. Spend 15 minutes daily mentally practicing. You can practice checklists, radio calls, emergencies, pattern work, maneuvers. This builds muscle memory and reduces workload in the aircraft. Then we have master performance calculations. Expect detailed questions about, for example, takeoff performance, landing distance, weight and balance, fuel burn, density, altitude, especially based on the weather conditions of your actual check ride date. Part 3 is common student pilot mistakes. Let's start with staring inside the cockpit. Student pilots often fixate on instruments too much. Remember, fly outside first. Instruments support your scan, they don't replace it. Second is fighting the aircraft instead of trimming. If you constantly feel like you're wrestling the airplane, then trim probably isn't set properly. Number 3 is poor radio confidence. Everyone sounds nervous on the radio initially. The solution is to listen to ATC recordings and practice phraseology out loud regularly. Fourth, we have rushing checklists. Never rush checklists because you feel pressured by ATC or other traffic. Slow is smooth, smooth becomes fast. If you want to become a pilot and you still haven't given your ground exams yet, then do contact We'll help you with everything you might need for becoming a better pilot.